pours love into the family. He pours love into the home. So his love can overflow into the world. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life removing pain. Lord, let my words heal a heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people, so his love can overflow into the world.
God bless you. Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us for another 3ABM Presents program. Can you smell that? Oh, that's right, you can't smell that, but let me tell you, there is some wonderful scents coming out of that window, coming out of the 3ABN kitchen, and that's because Barbara Kerr is back. She's from Gaston, South Carolina, and her ministry is called Taste of Health. And recently, Barb went on a cruise, a Caribbean cruise, and that inspired her to come up with some Caribbean recipes that she's going to be sharing on the program today. She is going to be sharing something called Pineapple Coconut Cornmeal Pancakes, Caribbean Oatmeal with Fruit Salsa, Virgin Island Sweet Potato Salad, Banana Curried Cauliflower, Antillean pan-seared tofu with mango tomato salsa. Oh, that sounds so good. And mango passion fruit upside down cake. So we would just like to encourage you, get your paper, get your pen ready to jot down these recipes, and if you're not able to jot them down fast enough, check out our website or give us a call at 1-800-752-3226. We'll be more than happy to send you a copy of these recipes. So sit back, get comfortable, and get ready for some great recipes. You know, some years ago, there was this very interesting study that was done by an agricultural school in the state of Iowa. And in this study, it was reported that the harvest of 100 bushels of corn from 1 acre of land required this. Now, listen to this. It required 6,800 pounds of oxygen, 5,200 pounds of carbon, 160 pounds of nitrogen, 4 million pounds of water, 25 pounds of potassium, 75 pounds of yellow sulfur, and a whole lot of other elements that are way too many to mention here on the program. But in addition to these ingredients, the harvest of the 100 bushels of corn also required the early morning dew, the sunshine, and the rain at just the right times. And the report also showed that many hours of a farmer's time and effort are needed to produce the 100 bushels of corn. But the results of the study concluded that it was estimated that only 5% of the produce of the farm could be contributed to the efforts of one man, of the farmer. And that means that 95% of the provision has got to come from nature. And from a Christian's point of view, it's got to come from God. So folks, it is by the grace of God that we have food on our tables every day. And I believe with all my heart that it's our duty and it's our privilege to thank God for what He provides for us every day. So if you're not in the habit of praying before you eat, now's a great time to start. The time to start saying grace isn't when there's a famine in the land or when you just lost your job. But getting back to the story, there is such an important principle here. You know, in the physical sense, we can plant the seed, but the fact is that God is the one who adds His blessing and makes the harvest. And also in the spiritual sense, this is true too. We find in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 6 and 7, the Apostle Paul writes, I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then neither is he that plants anything, and neither is he that waters, but God that gives the increase. And then I love verse 9. It says, for we are laborers together with God. You are God's husbandry. You are God's building. And I think these are probably some of the most encouraging words in the Bible. God's word says that we might do our little part at something, but it's God that gives the increase. So we have to realize that we are not anything, but God is everything. And thanks be to God that He allows us to be co-laborers with Him. And just as that Iowa study showed that the farmers do just a very small portion to really make a harvest, what we do from day to day in our lives is so tiny and so small. But God's blessing on our tiny efforts is absolutely gigantic. So in my opinion, this gives us the ultimate in relief. You know, some people spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S, but real relief, genuine relief, is spelled G-O-D. So when we're facing a challenge at work, we need to say, Lord, I'm going to do my part, and then as my co-laborer, I'm going to thank you for doing your part to make this problem go away. And then at other times, when we get up in the morning and we look at the scale and we decide that this body temple is getting a little too heavy, we have to say, God, I'm going to do my part. And I'm going to thank you for the awesome blessing that you are going to add as my co-laborer. And then at other times, when we look into our checkbooks and we discover that we just don't have enough in there to pay all the bills, at that moment we need to say, Lord, I'm going to do all that I can to make all this balance out. But then I'm going to thank you right now for being my co-laborer. And the same God who took the 5 loaves and 2 fishes and fed the 5,000 can multiply what I have in my checkbook to make it be just enough. Folks, we need to remember that we are God's, and God takes care, ultimate, perfect care of what is His if we let Him. And it's not what we do that matters, it's the blessing of the Lord that matters. It's the blessing of the Lord that is going to make all the difference in the world, in every area of our lives. And God shows us that over and over again, that when we lean our lives heavy on Him, when we lean our lives heavy on those everlasting arms, He's going to bless us abundantly more than we can ever ask or think. Father, in Jesus' name, we just want to thank you, Lord, for those everlasting arms that are constantly held out to us. Father, once again, we very much realize that we must decrease and you must increase. Father, I just pray that for each one who is watching this program, for each of us here at 3ABN, that we can invite you into our lives to be a much bigger part of our moment-by-moment, day-to-day lives, because it's not us, it's you. It's not our efforts, but it's your blessing on our efforts that makes all the difference in the world. And I just pray, Father, that you will use us, that you will use our humble efforts to glorify you, to magnify you, and to let the world what a wonderful God that you are. And we thank you in advance, Lord, for what you will do. Amen. Well, right now, I can't wait for you to hear this song by Charles Arrington that's entitled Cover Me. So come on into our living room and listen to this.
Cover me, oh Lord, with righteousness. Cover me. Suffer me to come to thee and hide my nothingness. Who cover me? Oh Lord, with righteousness. Lord, I've doubted. Cover me with faith. And Lord, where I've hated, cover me with love. Righteousness. Lord, I've doubted. Cover me with faith.
like to thank Chuck for that beautiful, beautiful song, and I'd like to welcome you back to the 3ABN Kitchen, and welcome back, Barb.
Thank you.
Oh, you know, our viewers, I'm sure, are just saying, we want to experience this cruise with Barb. Tell us all about it.
Well, it was something that I've been looking forward to for 2 years because we've put off a vacation since we did the cookbook, and I've wanted to go on a cruise my whole life. So Bill surprised me with this as an actual Christmas present that we didn't take until later. And so we got there, and the boat was great. It was actually the largest boat in the largest ship in the world for a cruise ship called Explorer of the Seas. And but the weather was bad the whole trip.
Did it rain the entire time?
The entire time except for the last 2 days, and so it was kind of stinko from that
So
standpoint.
you didn't get a suntan? You didn't
I
come
got
back-
very few freckles actually popped out on this trip, and I ended up wearing a lot of long sleeve clothes. But you know, it was nice to go many places, and that's the advantage to going on a cruise. You get to see more than just one location. So we left from Miami, and then we went to Bahamas, and then we were at sea a day and woke up then in St. Thomas the next day. And St. Thomas was what I was really looking forward to seeing, but it rained so hard that our excursions were canceled, and so.
Oh my.
But we had 30 minutes of sunshine, and I did take a few pictures from there and some pictures on the boat that I'd like to show.
Okay, let's
So
take a
I'll tell you a
look
little
at
bit
'em.
about what we've done. That's a shot of Bill and I eating dinner, but you can see the ship and the dining room and actually the deck on there, kind of an all-in-one. And there were over 3,000 people on board, and I wanted a shot to show people just how crowded a ship was. And I just thought, you know, it'll be so easy to get out there, and I never could find a seat around the swimming pool the entire 7 days. And so that, you know, that was a little bit frustrating. And that was when we were in Miami, just getting ready to go. And Miami, and I've got a sweater on, so you know it was a little bit chilly, but we had fun. That's Nathan. This is in St. Thomas, looking back from that 30 minutes of sunshine. Our ship is the last one in there, and it was we did hire someone. This is Megan's Bay, and we ended up, when our excursion was canceled, going there and laying on the beach for 2 hours until it got too much. And then, of course, Nathan.
That's Nathan underwater.
Nathan underwater. His dad took that picture, and Nathan eating in the dining room. So.
Boy, Nathan's growing up, girl.
He is. He is. He's going to be as big as your Nathan pretty soon.
I know
so
it.
He's 12.
Boy, you just blink your eyes and they're engaged and getting
Oh,
married,
don't say that.
going to college.
He likes girls too much already. So I'm like, come on, wait a few more years. You're only 12. So we had a good time, and this was helpful because I'm working on an international cookbook. So this is an international program, and I wanted to do some really neat foods that emphasized the island food. And while I was in St. Thomas, Bill bought me this wonderful cookbook called A Taste of the Caribbean. And there's no pictures in here, but I highly recommend this cookbook. It's by Angela Spenceley, and all the recipes that I'm doing today are adaptations from her cookbook. And so she just has wonderful sounding recipes, and we're going to actually make some today.
All right.
So we better
Well, let's get
started.
started.
The first one is going to be a pineapple coconut cornmeal pancakes. And the ingredients are 3/4 cup water, 1/4 cup cornmeal, 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup whole wheat pastry flour, 1 teaspoon Rumford's baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup silk vanilla soy milk, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla, 1/4 cup sweetened cream of coconut by Coco Lopez, 2 tablespoons sucanat, 1 tablespoon energy egg replacer, 1/4 cup of water, 1 1/4 cups fresh or canned chopped pineapple drained, and of course hot maple syrup for the top. So we're going to go ahead and start this right away. We have our 3/4 cup water already boiling. We're going to add our cornmeal to that, Linda, and we'll just let this thicken and set it off. And I use the really fine cornmeal, so
Now, did you find that with the Caribbean recipes that there's more ingredients basically in what they cook?
I really did. Everything in there seemed to be more ingredients. And of course, when you have pancakes, I've yet to find a pancake recipe from scratch that wasn't a lot of ingredients. So, and I'm not one to, I don't like cooking with a lot of ingredients. I know when you're trying to write it down at home, it makes it more difficult. You're like, oh, I missed that ingredient. So I really do try to, okay. You can see how quickly that cooks if you use a fine one. So we'll just set that off to the side. And that'll be ready for us. Now in your bowl, we're gonna mix the dry ingredients. You want the half a cup of all-purpose flour and the half cup of whole wheat pastry flour, a teaspoon of the Rumford's baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of soda, half a teaspoon of salt, and you can just stir that up. I'll give you a big spoon. And then in my bowl, we're going to mix the Silk soy milk, which is a half cup, and the Coco Lopez, which is, I brought the can to show you in case you want to see what that looks like in your supermarket. This is a sweetened coconut. It's not exactly what I would call a health food item, but that's what it looks like. And how much of that do we need? A 1/4 cup, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. Right here. Okay. Now if you'll stir that one up for me before you add that together.
I love that silk. That is a great product.
You love pancakes.
That's true.
We've got 1 tablespoon energy egg replacer and a 1/4 cup of the water. And let me just whisk that. Where's my whisk? Here it is. This might be too big for this bowl.
Should I mix these two together?
Yeah,
yet?
you can start to stir that in slowly. Just add that. I'm going to whisk this till it's foamy and add it, and then we'll stir in our pineapple and make our pancakes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn up the heat on her. There we go.
Now, pancakes are one of those meals that you can eat in the morning, and you will feel full nearly all day.
I do like
very
pancakes.
filling. Yes.
And then we'll put our pineapple, and I'm not sure I want to put all this pineapple in. The first time I made her recipe, I used tidbits. This time, and I didn't crush them. This time it's crushed, but it looks like, go ahead. What do you think, Linda? Should we put all the pineapple in?
Yeah, let's have some fruity pancakes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Let me move this up. This recipe, by the way, is from Guadalupe.
Guadalupe.
Yes, which is, she considers the Caribbean anywhere from the top of Florida to the north of Venezuela. So it includes a lot of different recipes, and you have a lot from there. Now, let's test this. Let's see, there's a drop of water. Oh, good. That looks good. Oh, we need to fold in our cornmeal.
Oh.
So they're actually cornmeal pancakes.
Okay, that's a good
That would be good to remember. Someone would be saying, now what was the cornmeal for? And it's good if you don't cook it up too much ahead, because you don't want the cornmeal to become lumpy in there. And as soon as you get that folded in, I'm ready for you. I am ready for you.
Okay.
That looks really good. Okay, go for it. Give us 4 nice-sized pancakes.
Now, the batter is kind of thick. Now, does this mean that we are going to have some kind of thick pancakes?
I hope so.
I like the thick ones. Now, I guess if people prefer the thinner ones, they could add water if they
And of
wanted.
course you could put bananas or oil starting to scorch. Okay. You know, it was funny, when we got back, I had 4 days to get my programs ready for this week, including this. And so the night before I flew here, it was 7 o'clock, and I was starting on these recipes at 7 because I've been out shopping looking for things. I mean, I was going into a panic, but I felt happy though, because I knew God would come through, and no matter what, the program would go on. And so, I mean, I was making the next morning, packing my suitcase and making pancakes and doing stuff, going, okay, this one's gonna work. Because a lot of times I can read a recipe and know what I want to do to adapt it to be vegan, and but I don't always know 100% of the time if it's gonna work.
And you are so funny, Barb. And actually, I can relate so much because with my songwriting, I mean, literally, when I'm in the studio getting ready to lay my voice down, I am still tweaking the words.
You're finishing.
Well, Barb, when she's here at 3ABN, I mean, minutes before the program starts, she is still tweaking these recipes, making them just a little bit better.
I'm glad you said that, because I actually brought one recipe with me today that I have never had time to try. So we're going to do like a Barb Kerr in the kitchen at home thing here on the set.
Okay.
And you guys will get to see. So the recipe that's on the screen may end up being a little bit different than what we do, and that's the banana curried one.
Yeah, we'll just experiment here today.
Yeah. So now we'll see if I can actually flip the pancakes today. Oh, those look good.
Oh, they look terrific.
So, and then you want to serve these with hot maple syrup, or you could serve them with a fruit topping. That one wasn't quite ready.
Yeah, like some hot applesauce. My husband loves apple butter.
He does? My husband's grandmother has made apple butter, like hundreds of quarts of apple butter in these huge, I mean, they're so big, these copper pots, that you have to cook an outdoor fire, and she just cans quarts and quarts of apple butter. And so
does she eat them then, or give them away?
She gives them away, and she cans them for the winter, and she gives a lot away to friends.
You know, that I think that is a wonderful ministry. You know, to can things and to share them with your neighbors. It just gives you a real lift.
Bill just asked his grandma, he said, "Grandma, do you have a picture of some time when you've made this?" She said, "Why would I have a picture? I've been doing this forever." So to her, it was like something everybody does. Everyone makes apple butter like this, right?
Oh.
So she is so cute.
That reminds me, several years ago, when Alyssa and Nathan were quite a bit younger, when we weren't quite as busy as we are at 3ABN now. That's when, in my canning days, I would always have Alyssa and Nathan help me with the canning, and I've got some very, very precious pictures of them doing some canning in the kitchen. And in the pictures, they don't look too happy. And in fact, Alyssa, she was looking at them not too long ago, and she was like, "Well, Mom, we weren't happy in those pictures."
We didn't want to be there.
Well, when you can tomatoes, let me tell you, that is a job. Getting all those skins off, getting rid of the seeds and the core.
I've never done that.
Really?
I mean, I think I've helped somebody one time, but I never. My mom used to can grape juice, and so we would do that, but I never canned the other things. And, but she did make me go through the miserable experience of plucking a chicken. So
what?
That was traumatic.
That would be traumatic.
So, and I have a picture, and I looked very unhappy in that picture. It was awful.
Oh my, I don't think I would be too happy
things
either.
our moms put us through. It's okay, Mom, I survived. All right, now I'm making you, this is the Linda Shelton plate of pancakes.
Oh, yum.
For later.
Oh, yum.
So, and I think we've got those all done. And later, when nobody else is here, we'll cook up the rest of the batter.
Oh, they look
Doesn't that smell delicious? And you know, the cornmeal adds just a nice little crunch. The same reason I like to put, you know,
malto meal.
Malto meal. And I was going to say cocoa wheat, so I knew that wasn't right. Malto meal in my pancakes. So there they are. We're ready to do the next recipe. And that's going to be a Caribbean oatmeal with fruit salsa, and this is from St. Thomas. Linda, would you like to read those ingredients for us?
Sure. You will need 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 1/2 cup of fresh diced mango, 1/4 cup of fresh diced pineapple, 1 kiwi peeled and diced, 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats, 3 3/4 cup of silk soy milk, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 medium banana, and 100% maple syrup.
All right, now this is simple. We've actually gotten our soy milk, which is 3 3/4 cups boiling, and we're going to add the oats. How many oats is that, Linda?
Let's see, 2 cups.
Okay.
2 cups
And
of
for
oats.
the program, I'm using quick so that we can do the recipe faster. But at home, I would cook this the 20 minutes and use the slow cooking. And the cinnamon is stirred in, which was a 1/2 teaspoon. Now you are going to make up a dressing in this bowl using the 2 tablespoons of lime juice and 2 tablespoons of honey. So,
Grab a spoon over here.
Sorry about that. Let's see. I think I need like a whole arsenal. I'm gonna steal your whisk. Oh, I had given you a whisk. I'll use the whisk. You can have a spoon. I think I need to buy some more whisks.
Still stir. Yeah.
Okay, and also once you get this whisked in, we're gonna slice up a banana that cooks along with the oatmeal the last 5 minutes that you're cooking it. I guess I can turn this off of high before we actually burn.
I love mango.
Oh, I love mango too.
Well, Dan and I, especially since we've been involved in 3ABN, we have had the greatest privilege of traveling to a lot of different places around the world. And I especially loved Brazil because down in Brazil they have fruits and vegetables that I have never seen before, but they're delicious. Yes, tropical countries have so many things that we don't.
They use a lot of mangoes, pineapple, passion fruit, guava, avocados. They have pumpkins and yams, and Jamaica has ackee or ackee, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I've actually had that. Decided not to cook with that poisonous plant today. I figured that would be a good thing. So, but it is kind of neat. And I didn't tell you, after St. Thomas, we went to Puerto Rico the next day, which by that day, the ship was rocking so much I ended up seasick on the 3rd day. Whole night up on the deck. That was the one night I could find a pool chair. I sat up there all night long with the book because I just thought I was gonna. Yeah, it just was. You couldn't walk straight down the hallway because the wind was blowing so hard it was rocking the ship from side to side. So we woke up the next. I fell asleep 45 minutes before we had to leave to go to the El Yunque National Rainforest in Puerto Rico. So that was a sleepy trip for me, but I still enjoyed Puerto Rico. And I brought you something from Puerto Rico.
You did?
A little present.
Oh, that is
Isn't that
too
cute?
Adorable. Yes,
So
I love it.
I thought you would like
Thank
that.
you.
You are welcome.
That is precious.
Reminded
I will
me
put
of
that
you.
in my kitchen.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Now, after this thickens,
With all my pig stuff that you got me.
have you noticed I haven't bought you any pig things in quite a while? I've seen a lot. Actually, I found one in Florida I was really tempted to get you. It was a string with a pig hanging on it, and the pig was flying. It was going around in circles. I said, how much is that? And I almost brought that home to you, but I thought, where would Linda put it in her beautiful home? So,
Well, I guess a lot of people don't know the story behind that, but several years ago, we had this situation where a neighbor of ours wanted to sell his property, and he wanted to sell his property so much that right at the end of our driveway, that's where he put all of his hay, and he actually dug a big mud hole for his pigs to slop in. And you know, the smell of that area by the end of our driveway was atrocious.
pigs in the morning, fresh air.
And Barb, when Barb saw that, she really used that as a platform to send me pig cards, pig stuffed animals, pig everything.
Pig slippers. Didn't I get you some pig
slippers? You know, I
Yeah.
still wear those pig slippers.
They're comfy.
And but the Lord was so merciful because somebody did buy that property, and the pigs left.
They did. You know, to hear Danny tell that story is very funny. Of how Linda would go down the driveway and she'd turn and then she'd snap her head and watch those pigs as she'd walk along the road. I love that story.
Do you know, I've always considered myself to be an animal lover. You know, I really love animals. Of course, you all see Fluffy on the program. But Barb, I have to say, I got to where I really resented those pigs. Yes.
Well, speaking of animal lover, I talked to my husband last night. He adopted an animal yesterday while I was gone.
Really? What is it?
It's a totally black kitten that's about 3 months old. It showed up on our doorstep just like our dog Midnight did.
We are twins, because I have a black cat.
And they're going to call it Hook because its tail is broken at the end. So, but he said it's so friendly. It's been walking around on his shoulder for for hours. So he loved it. Now, the oatmeal, I have to tell you, I love oatmeal. I am a huge fan of oatmeal, and I will eat oatmeal
It's
or
so healthy.
some kind of,
It is so healthy.
You're going to serve your oatmeal with some of the salsa and drizzle it with maple syrup and more silk if you'd like, and that is the Caribbean oatmeal, and it is a winner. Now I want to interject a salad that we had while we were on the ship. Now I don't have a recipe for it, but I'm just going to show you because it's really simple ingredients. If you'll get that tray for me there, Linda, we'll make it up real fast. And this is something that you really don't need. And I loved the salad. The salad was just iceberg lettuce, okay, with a little bit of
Cabbage.
purple cabbage. And there were some hearts of palm in it. Hearts of palm are literally the hearts of little baby palm trees. And then some pineapple. And then there was a key lime dressing that went on that was, and you'll have the recipe a little bit later. It's lime juice mixed with the Coco Rico. It's the marinade for our Antillean tofu stuff. And it makes the best salad dressing,
Now,
too.
what was that you just popped in there?
A little fresh grated ginger.
Ooh.
And this makes a key lime dressing, and they served this one night, and I was thinking, boy, I wonder if I could ever get the recipe. And then when I was making the marinade for the tofu that we're going to make here in just a minute,
You discovered it.
that was it. So you'll actually have the recipe for the marinade. It's the same as the dressing that would go on the salad, and it is delicious. So I had to share that as the tropical salad. So now we can go on to our next recipe. And we'll put those ingredients up for you now. It's our Virgin Islands sweet potato salad. You're going to need 2 tablespoons orange juice concentrate, juice and zest of 1 lime, juice of 1 lemon, 1 scant teaspoon fresh grated ginger, 2 tablespoons honey, 2 tablespoons Smart Balance margarine, 1/8 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon allspice, 3 pounds of cooked sweet potatoes peeled and diced, 1 ripe mango diced, 1 cup fresh cubed pineapple, and 1/4 cup of currants. Now this is simple. We're going to make it in the blender, Linda. I'm going to have you put the dressing ingredients in there. And that's 2 tablespoons of orange juice concentrate, juice and zest of 1 lime.
Okay.
I guess that was really concentrated.
Yeah. Go ahead, I'll catch up.
And there's your zest. The juice of 1 lemon. 1 scant teaspoon of fresh grated ginger is there. 2 tablespoons honey. 2 tablespoons Smart Balance or Earth Balance margarine melted. 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne. 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon allspice. And then we're just going to blend those until the zest is nice and combined. Now,
let's talk about the Earth Balance margarine. Now, why would we choose a certain brand, say, over the others? I notice when you go down the aisle in the grocery store, there is a wide variety of margarines and butters.
Right.
Why should we go with Earth Balance?
most margarines are made from hydrogenated fats, which are not good for your body. Your body doesn't recognize that type of fat, and so it's not a healthy item to put in. Earth Balance and Smart Balance margarines are non-hydrogenated, and they're all vegetable margarines, and so they're very good to put in there. And Earth Balance has a higher fat content than the Smart Balance, so if I'm using something that's not a baked item, I'll use Smart Balance margarine because there's a few less fat calories in it. But if I'm baking it, it should have a higher fat content, less water content in a margarine. So that is it. I think we'll
Ooh.
blend that just a little bit more.
Smells wonderful.
And in my bowl, I'm going to mix up our 3 pounds of cooked sweet potatoes, the 1 ripe mango, which is diced, or that's 1 ripe mango, and then 1 cup fresh cubed pineapple. I've used pineapple tidbits. You can use whatever you have, and a 1/4 cup of currants. I'm going to toss this just a little bit, and then you can pour our salad dressing on. And what I did, I had trouble the first 2 times I tried to cook the sweet potatoes. They do not bake easily in the oven, and that's one change I'm going to make from what she has in her recipe. I had to cube these and steam them for about 5 minutes, and you need to check them to make sure that they don't get overdone, or you cannot toss them without mashing them. Go ahead and put the dressing over, Linda. And this has just a little bit of that Jamaican bite, even though this is from, and St. Thomas is famous for hot peppers in the Virgin Islands, so.
And this is so completely different than an American sweet potato recipe.
Oh yes, this is nice. Now this needs to actually marinate and chill in the refrigerator and let the flavors blend. And that's all there is to this salad, so.
Oh, looks
That is
terrific.
a nice tropical salad, so.
Well, let's move ahead.
Yes, we're running out of time. Let's go on to our next recipe, and we'll put those ingredients up for you now. We'll be making Antillean pan-seared tofu. You're going to need 1 pound of extra firm tofu cut short side into 8 1/2-inch slices, 1/3 cup fresh lime juice, a 1/4 cup cream of coconut, 1/2 teaspoon freshly grated ginger. For the mango tomato salsa, you're going to need 4 teaspoons of honey, 4 tablespoons of lime juice, 1/2 teaspoon rum extract, 1 large ripe tomato diced, 1 ripe mango peeled and diced, 1 small cucumber peeled, seeded, and diced, 1/4 cup fresh cilantro finely chopped, a 1/4 cup green onion minced using the green part only, 1 or 2 pinches of cayenne pepper, which is optional, and a 1/2 teaspoon salt or to taste. Now on this recipe, I've taken our pound of tofu, and you just are going to slice along here until you've got it into the slices that you want, and mix up the marinade, which we have already done, and it's what we used on the salad dressing. It was your 1/3 cup of fresh lime juice mixed with the 1/4 cup of cream of coconut and your 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. And I mix that up, put it in a baggie, and let it marinate for at least 2 hours. You can let it marinate longer. And then we're going to sear it. We have our pan is hot. We'll put this in here along with some of the marinade. And the coconut, the fat in the coconut will be what all we need to cook it with. Kind of like making blackened tofu, only I'm trying not to get myself completely.
Barb's gonna smell like pan-seared tofu.
And then just pour a little bit of this in your pan to cook it with, and let that cook down. And then whatever you have left, or you can mix up some extra, after you've let this cook down and get nice and caramelized on both sides, that was hot. You can take it then and drizzle it over your piece of tofu after you've added the tomato mango salsa, which we're going to make now.
Okay.
And I'll have you mix that up. Now in the little bowl, let's go ahead and put 4 teaspoons of honey and 4 tablespoons of lime juice, and our 1/2 teaspoon of rum extract. And then we're just going to whisk that up, and that'll make our dressing. And then in this bowl, we have 1 large ripe tomato, and you want one that's really nice and red, not pale. And 1 ripe mango peeled and diced. And when we get to our mango cake, I'm going to show you the easy way to cut up a mango. We've got, it was a 1/4 cup green onion minced, green part only. And we've got a small cucumber peeled and seeded. And we have cilantro, which is a 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to put the salt in the dressing.
Okay.
Okay. Let me toss this.
By the way, Barb, I've got to tell you, on a previous program when you made the green salsa,
Yeah.
I have made it several times at my house and consumed the whole batch myself.
It is such a hit. I mean, I have had more good comments about that green salsa.
It is so delicious and it's so good for you. It's, I mean, because everything in it is green.
And it's low fat, too. I don't think there's any fat
It's
in that
delicious.
recipe.
It really is good.
Now, you know, mangoes and tomatoes together look like an unusual combination, but this is an awesome tasting salsa, and you're really going to like this over the...
Are you
Go ahead.
ready?
Yes, I'm ready for you. Put the dressing over. And this should just sit at room temperature, you know, letting the flavors blend while you finish searing the tofu. So let's check on the tofu and see if it's... I'll try not to burn myself this time.
Well, it might be really blackened tofu.
No, it's not even getting brown yet.
It's not close yet.
So, okay. Well, we'll flip those. But you want this to be nice and brown. I mean, dark brown. And just so that it's really caramelizing. And if you need to add some more cream of coconut to it, you can do that, as you can see. But we're not going to cook it completely because we want to make the mango passion fruit upside down cake. And if we do not get to that, I'll probably cry. So let's put those ingredients up for you now, Linda. And would you read them for us?
Yes. For the filling, you will need 3 tablespoons of Smart Balance margarine, 1/3 of a cup sucanat, 1/2 teaspoon rum extract, 1/2 cup pineapple juice, 3 tablespoons of passion fruit concentrate from frozen food section, or pulp of 2 passion fruits pressed through a strainer, 1 cup of fresh mango chopped. And for the cake, you will need 3/4 of a cup whole wheat pastry flour, 3/4 of a cup all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons of Rumford's baking powder, 1 tablespoon of Energy egg replacer, 1/4 of a cup water, 3/4 of a cup milled cane sugar, 1/2 of a cup Smart Balance margarine, 1/2 teaspoon pure vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon almond extract, 3/4 of a cup Silk vanilla soy milk.
Now, before we start making the cake, we finished pan searing our tofu, so I just want to show everyone to make sure that they're clear on how it goes together. And if you want to taste some, you take a slice of the tofu and a spoonful of the salsa with plenty of the juice, and then a spoon of, let me see, of a little bit of our marinade left. You just drizzle that over the top. And now you're ready to taste. If you're brave.
I'm brave, and actually this is one of my favorite portions of my job here at 3ABN.
Is doing the taste
doing
testing.
the taste testing.
Oh, good.
Touchdown!
All right, I'm glad you like it. But I just wanted to be clear on how you actually put that together. So you're going to love our cake. So
It's really good.
I'm glad you like it.
And it's so different.
It is very different.
Very different.
I never would have thought of putting tomatoes and mangoes together with cilantro. So we'll put that aside. Now you're going to love this. This is an upside down cake. And actually, before we start, I want to show the finished cake because I think it makes it easier to see what we're doing because we're going to dice up some mango. And this is made in a 9x9. It's a very flat cake, very light, but it tastes so good that Bill ate the entire thing. Well, we had sampled about this part of it before I left, and he'd eaten the rest before Nathan got home from school, which was amazing because he hasn't eaten a bite of anything sweet in almost a year. So I figured that was pretty amazing.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember that recipe that you made in the round pan where you sliced the apples and you put them in the frying pan and then you poured the batter over it and put it in the oven? Is it similar to that one?
Baked, that was a frying pan. An apple skillet cake, yes.
It was delicious.
That was a very good cake, too. This is so good. And it uses unusual things. Now, you're going to start with a saucepan over the heat, and we're going to melt our margarine, our Earth Balance margarine. Let's use one of these. And go ahead and give me our third cup of Coconut and a half a teaspoon of rum extract. Now you have to realize that in the Caribbean, a lot of alcohol is consumed, and I am, of course, I'm not using the alcoholic beverages, but trying to make it at least a little bit of the flavor that they would, otherwise it would not be true to their actual cooking method. So go ahead and give us our pineapple juice, which was actually originally rum in the recipe. So I figured we'd go ahead and replace that.
We don't need that rum.
No, we certainly do not. And you can go ahead and put in our mango. And we'll let this cook for a minute. Now, we have 2 passion fruits. Now, in order for a passion fruit to be ripe, it needs to be very wrinkly on the outside, but you don't want it moldy. If it's moldy, it's on the outside. Now, this one, I'm not sure what the inside will be like, and I just want to cut down through it, and it might be good or it might not be good. We'll just see.
Barbara,
oh, it's fine.
I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a passion fruit, but
Isn't that look neat? And it smells so good. Smell that. Now,
well,
I need you
it's
to,
very different.
well, actually this is plastic. Can you hold this above our
Okay.
pan a little bit? And I'm gonna just spoon this in. It's very seedy. There's not much inside a passion fruit. It's yellow with black seeds, but very potent and flavorful. And
It kind of reminds me, there's this fruit in Brazil, it's called the ugly fruit.
isn't that though a big, like a grapefruity kind of thing?
Well, the reason that it reminds me of this is that is ugly.
Only a mother passion fruit could love another passion fruit. But see, you know what though? There is so much nutrition in this passion fruit.
You're
Yeah.
kidding. What's in it?
I don't know. But anything that dark yellow that smells that powerful, I'm convinced God put, incredible nutrients in the island foods. So
Okay.
all we're going to do now, I can take that back from you, is press the juice. Now you can chew up the black seeds, it's okay. They're kind of air-filled in the middle. I mean, there's no real flavor to them. But I just want to get a little bit of the pulp through here. Now, if you live in Miami or anywhere in Florida, Southern California, in your store, you can find that passion fruit concentrated pulp in the freezer section. The rest of the country and the rest of the world isn't going to find it. So that's why I wanted to give you an alternative. And if you just don't have it, just leave this out and make it with the mangoes. It'll still be delicious cake. So that is what you need. And if you chew up the seeds, like I'll just take a spoon when mangoes are or when passion fruit are in season and scoop out the middle, and I'll just chew up the seeds and everything.
Really?
I mean, it's kind of different, but I just feel like I'm getting something so nutritious.
Okay.
So, now this goes in the bottom of our 9x9 pan. It's right here, Linda. And we're gonna have to hurry and mix up our cake batter.
Okay.
And then we're going to spoon, we're going to mix up our cake batter quickly, and then we'll just spoon that over the top and bake it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes or 35 minutes. So in a big bowl, let's mix together. We'll see how fast you are, girl.
Okay.
Okay. 3/4 cup whole wheat pastry flour and 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt, turn that off, and 2 teaspoons Rumford's baking powder. This is a test. What? Oh, give me the energy egg replacer, I'll whisk that up. A 3/4 cup milled cane sugar, a 1/2 cup of the Smart Balance margarine. You need to stir this. This is like a cooking marathon today. Hurry, you're almost out of time.
Can you identify these items quickly?
Okay, and that was 1 tablespoon of energy egg with a 1/4 cup of water. This would be like the fastest cooking show.
All right.
And you've got your 3/4 cup soy milk, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. I think we're going to make it actually. Let me give you that. Oh, Linda, you're so much fun to cook with in the kitchen.
Now, whoever said 2 women in the kitchen shouldn't get together in the kitchen?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
No, you can come cook in my kitchen anytime.
Thank you.
You're a good cook. Okay, now this is a thin batter, but if you let it sit up, it'll get thick. I just kind of pour it kind of carefully over, because it's a very liquid, and then I take a spoon and kind of just pull it a little bit towards the corners and the edges, and that's all you need to do. And because once it cooks, the batter will actually push out to the edges and the corners, and you won't see the filling anymore. And that's all you need. That's it.
Well, once again, we want to show you the finished product, and
the other recipes we'll have in our resource sheet.
yes.
Thank
Well, it looks terrific, and thanks again for all your hard work.
you. You're welcome.
And I just want to tell each of you that there is someone in your area, there's someone in your family, it might be a neighbor, it might be a church member that really needs to know that you care. So why not try Caribbean recipes to do just that? And until next time, may the Lord richly bless you abundantly more than you could ever ask or think.
Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friends. May God bless and keep you in